Morning, guys. Coach Sarah here. We're going to do some Sunday yoga and meditation for grounding. And our yoga is going to focus on hips, hip mobility. Had a request for that and for a certain type of yoga, but I can't remember what it was called in order to research it. So, hey, Kate. So we're just gonna go with the flow. Got 5 minutes. I'm gonna wait until it's 10. So if you guys need to grab your yoga mat or you want to go outside and do this, if you have a lawn or a patio, it's nice and cool out there, that would be perfect. I do not have one of those here in my apartment. I have a roof out the window. I mean, I could try that one of these days. I usually do yoga in my yoga room, but today I felt like doing it here in my living room, so welcome. I don't have music though. We'll fix that. Alexa, play an ambient playlist.
Here's a playlist you might like. Electronic for Sleep on Amazon Music.
Well, we're not going to sleep, but that's fine. Always my go-to request for Alexa if I just need music that's like chill, good to have in the background, or I want to focus. It's very zen, if you will. Like I'm at the spa, you know? Which I really want to go to. But I probably won't for a while. I have a gift card for a massage at Scana that I really want to use, but I have a friend who's a massage therapist. She's really good, so I'll probably see her first. Her name's Jamie Ross. She's at Enhanced Wellness in Marcy, if you ever need one. She's like if you need an orthopedic massage, you got some kind of chronic or acute issue. She's really good. Morning, Natalie. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna get started. So let's start our practice cross-legged or sitting in a chair. Wherever you're comfortable, we're just going to take a few moments to be mindful of our breathing and just focus on what your intention for this practice will be. So just close your eyes, and I want you to take a slow, deep inhale in through your nose. Fill your belly with air. Hold it at the top for a few seconds. And then exhale through your mouth. Feeling your belly contract. Just do that a few times through. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Put your spine straight. Just let all of the stress and the worry and the fear melt away. And just be present in this moment right now. I want you to think of something that you are deeply grateful for. I want you to feel that appreciation and that love in your heart and your soul. Just feel it right now. From here, you can open your eyes. We're going to stay in this cross-legged position. What I want you to do is take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to turn your shoulders to the right. Try keeping your spine straight. You can bring your left hand to your right knee. And that back hand is behind you. And keep breathing deeply. Trying to keep your spine straight. Go a little further. Turning your head back. And then come back to center. We're going to go the opposite way. So inhale in. And exhale as you turn toward the left. back to center. Let's do that again to the other side. Inhale in, exhale over. Back to center. Inhale in and out to the left. Another breath here. Back to center. Good. From here, I want you guys to come to your hands and knees. Just realized I was way over on the screen. All right, so hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. You're gonna start with a neutral spine, so your back is flat. We're gonna take an inhale and come up into the cat. And then exhale to cow. So inhale up and in. Keep that core tight. Exhale down. So let this movement start at your pelvis. So as you curl up, tucking that pelvis in, chin comes toward the chest as you inhale, and then exhale, pointing that tailbone up, belly sags down, eyes gaze up in front of you. Just come in and out of this movement. Let's do 10 reps. Inhale in and up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale, 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. As you come up into that cat, think about pushing the ground away with your hands. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do 2 more. 1 more. Now we're going to come back up into that cat. We're going to hold this position. We're going to breathe here, keeping your core contracted, your pelvis tucked in, tailbone points to the floor. Push that ground away with your hands. Eyes gaze at the floor, and you're breathing. Now you're going to come down to that cow. We're going to hold this position. So think about opening up those abdominals. Eyes gaze just in front of you. You're not trying to look at the ceiling. Trying to keep that tailbone pointing toward the ceiling. If you're getting a cramp here, you can come up into more of a neutral spine. Deep breath. Abdominals stay tight. Belly buttons pulled to the spine. Good. Now from here, let's come into child's pose. So for this, you can either have your hands up in front of you. I was made aware that child's pose is actually like this, with your arms at your side. So either is fine. Just let your forehead rest to the ground either way. Try to have your toes connected underneath you, and your knees can be as wide as you are comfortable. Trying to keep your butt close to your heels. Let's just breathe here. So arms are wherever you're more comfortable. If you need more of a shoulder and lat stretch, you can have them up here, just reaching as far forward as you can, and just breathe into it. Good. From here, come back up to tabletop. And what I want you guys to do is take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, flip your toes underneath your feet. And you're going to press up into downward dog as you exhale. Now inhale, you're going to come back down to tabletop or right into cobra. Take a deep breath here. As you exhale, come back to child's pose. Inhale, up into downward dog. Exhale. On your next exhale, coming down to the floor. Inhale, exhale, up to cobra. Now, if you want to get fancier, make this more difficult, cobra, technically, you're actually up off the floor with your thighs, but I like this better. Inhale, deep, and then as you exhale, come back to child's pose. So the idea here is that you are exhaling as you're moving to the next movement, and that's what kind of creates that flow. So I'm not doing that perfectly or cueing you exactly, but let's do our best. We're gonna go from here, exhale to tabletop, inhale, exhale to downward dog, inhale, exhale, down. I think they call this a vinyasa, and then inhale and exhale into cobra. Do you think I'd be, more knowledgeable at this point, but it's fine. Let's hold this position and just breathe. Really try to let your hips sink down toward the floor. If this is too much for your low back, you can have your hands more away from your body, and that will allow the extension to come from higher up your spine, more toward your thoracic vertebrae. Whatever feels better for you. Or you can be here. I want you to focus on still holding this position, but allow your glutes to relax. Try to keep your shoulders out of your ears. All right, let's come down from here. Contract that core, push up into tabletop, and then back into child's pose. Good, come back up to tabletop. And from here, we're gonna do the puppy dog pose. So it's just a little bit different than child's pose. You're gonna walk your hands forward, keep your hips above your knees, and now sink your chest down and your forehead to the floor. Good, I want you to come back up to tabletop. And let's come flip our toes under and let's go into that downward dog position, and just we're gonna focus on holding this. So while you're here, the things you're thinking about, you can have your knees slightly bent if that feels better for your hamstrings or back. But you're trying to press your heels down to the floor while you're trying to press your pelvis up toward the ceiling, but keeping your core nice and tight while you do that. Keeping your shoulders pressing away from you, kind of down toward the floor. Just trying to keep a neutral spine. Okay, from here we're going to mix it up. Let's kick the right leg heel up toward the ceiling. Now from here you're going to swing this through to the floor. Bring your both hands to the floor on the inside of your knee. Good. So from here, let's bring whatever knee, wrap forward. Hopefully you did the right. The right arm's going to come up toward the ceiling. Left hand is still connected to the floor. Try to sink your hips lower, but keep that back knee straight. Gaze goes to the ceiling. Good. Bring that hand back to the floor. Now from here, we're going to bring our shoulders upright. Try to press that back heel down to the floor, but let yourself stay sinking low into this position. You're going to bring your arms up on either side of you. Toes on both feet are still pointing toward the front. And just breathe. Try to sink lower if you can. Good, now we're going to transition. You're going to turn that back foot so your toes will face to the left of you. Try to still sink low in that front knee. Now our arms turn so our right hand's in front of us. Left hand is going behind us. Try to sink back down into this. Legs are probably shaking. Now from here, we're going to bring that left hand to the back of our leg. Right hand points to the ceiling. Gaze goes up. Try to stay low. If you need to, you can kind of come out of this. Straighten that front knee a little bit. You can stay low. Let those muscles work. Good, now come back. This is warrior 2. And then transition back to warrior 1. So toes come back toward the front. Then back to the floor. And feet come back to plank position. And let's come down and press up into cobra. Come down again, press back into child's pose. Okay, let's come back up to tabletop. Flip those toes under, come back up into downward dog. Now we're gonna do that on the opposite leg. So send that left heel up toward the ceiling and then swing it through to the floor in front of you. Both hands on the floor inside the knee. Okay, now from here, we're gonna bring the left hand up to the ceiling. Good, come back down to the floor with it. And from here, you're gonna come up with your shoulders. Keep both toes, or all toes, pointing forward at first, arms up to the side. Try to sink a little lower into that. Now when you're doing this too, make sure your front knee is not in front of your toes. So this position is bad. This is ideal. My knee is right over my ankle. Keep breathing. I know your legs might be tired. Mine sure are. Okay, we're gonna transition and turn the toes of the back foot to the side. So then connect kind of the arch of your foot with the floor. Open up the shoulders. So left hand is in front, right hand's behind, gaze is to the front. Try to sink back down into that. Keep breathing. Starting to sweat. Good, now let's come down. Right hand goes to the back of the thigh. Left hand up to the ceiling, gaze comes up. If you need to, come out of that bend of the front knee a little bit. Give yourself a break and then come back into it. Good, transition back to that warrior two. Then back to one. So turn the toes forward again, back knees straight, front knees bent. Then hands back to the floor. Feet back into plank. Sink down. Push up into cobra. One more deep inhale. Exhale back down. And push right back into child's pose. All right. Turn this music down a little. I want to show you guys. I've been taking this pelvic reset course, and I've learned a couple of tricks to just sort of resetting things in the pelvic region. A lot of times there's just imbalances going on, either with muscles being too tight, too weak, and strengthening and mobilizing things is really important, but this just sort of gives you like a reset into a neutral pelvis. And sometimes folks have SI joint or sacroiliac joint dysfunction because things are just always kind of wonky back there. And a lot of times it's because of habitual postures, meaning you tend to always sit the same way. Like I catch myself, I sit on the couch with my left leg tucked up underneath me, and then this one's on the floor. So I'm just always out of alignment. So if you don't have any props to use right now, that's fine. I'll just show you this. You can do it at a later time. Ideally for this, you have a yoga block, but I don't have one. I used to. I gave it away because I never used it. Isn't that how it goes? That's why I keep everything. So ideally, initially, you've got something that is about a foot wide. Now these squish a lot on me, but I could try to use it like this. What you're gonna do is lay down on your back. I'll kind of go at an angle for you. You're gonna put the object that's about 12 inches long in between your knees. You're gonna lay on your back, your knees are bent up, and your feet, you bring them in toward your butt, and feet are close together. what you do is you squeeze that object between the knees, and then you bring your knees to one side and then to the other. So this is a rocking motion. You try to keep both shoulder blades on the floor and the knees come side to side, not necessarily all the way to the floor, but just enough to bring the butt cheek off the floor. And you're squeezing, you're keeping your core tight, you're rocking side to side for about 10 reps. Okay, and then you would turn your yoga block or grab something that's more like 6 inches wide, and you're gonna do the same exact thing. So heels toward the butt, feet close together, squeeze that object, rock side to side for 10 reps. Keeping that core tight, keeping the knees pulling together. 10 reps. Okay, and then I just brought my band back to the gym, which is what I was using. So what am I going to improvise with? Use a sweatshirt. So then what you do, you can use a strap, a belt, your resistance band. Basically, you bring it around the outside of the knees, and then you try to tie it and hold it. So same idea, but now you're gonna press your knees apart, holding it with the band, rocking side to side. This is a little trickier to keep both shoulder blades down because you're holding it with your hands so it doesn't come apart, but you're trying to maintain the isometric contraction of your knees pressing apart while you rock side to side. Okay, so you do 10 reps for that too. And then the last thing you do, get rid of your props. Bring your heels as close as you can to your butt. You lift your butt up, hold that position into the bridge, and then you turn your head side to side. So let your head roll on the floor side to side as you do this, keeping your core tight, glutes engaged. Don't let yourself turn your head so your head is sliding on the floor. You actually let it roll across side to side. So the whole back of your head ends up touching the floor, if that makes sense. So you do 10 reps there. Then the final move, you come all the way flat to the floor. You see me on both things. And you bend your knees up a little bit so your heels are digging into the floor. Let everything else relax. Keep your palms facing up. And what you do is you move your feet up and down like an ankle pump, but your heels don't slide. You keep them digging into the floor so that they're allowing your body to pivot and move the rest of your body up and down. So you have to let your head and neck relax so that your head kind of nods with that motion automatically. And you just go back and forth. And then you just relax and breathe. And you can sort of feel the sensations of vibration throughout your body, total relaxation. And then slowly turn to the side and come up from there. And that is your little nugget for the week. So you guys can stay on the floor laying down if you want, or you can go get some water. I'm going to do the meditation that you can come back to at any point. This is actually something that would be really good to do outside, so that you're actually getting the full benefit from the earthing or grounding technique of this. And you can listen to this on your headphones. You can just skip ahead to it if you want to do this later, because I'll post the YouTube link after I upload everything. So if you're going to do this with me now, you can be right where you are, or you can do this later. But we're going to focus on grounding. Grounding becomes a way to draw energy without unloading your own energy. So everyone has a lot of energy that must remain balanced to avoid ending in an exhausting exercise or practice with a headache. But it's also a way to feel the connection with Mother Earth. So earthing or grounding, they're kind of a synonymous word, phrase, meaning. It's a therapeutic technique that involves doing activities that ground or electrically reconnect you to the earth. This practice relies on earthing science and grounding physics to explain how electrical charges from the earth can have a positive effect on your body. And this is actually a topic that when we had our very first Wellness Wednesday with Joanna Rigoli, who's a great therapist, if anyone needs one at this point in your life, or in the future. She talks about earthing, and so they advise you to do this sort of practice barefoot outside, either in the grass, on the sand, wherever you can be barefoot safely. So just keep that in mind too. So being barefoot amplifies the connection with the ubiquitous and eternal healing energies of Pachamama. I don't know much about that. So if you can avoid using rubber bottom shoes because they isolate and prevent the proper functioning of our electric circuit. But again, if you're just doing this from home where you are right now and in your seated or laying position, that's okay too. So this is a fundamental exercise to live a little more rooted, and it's actually very simple. Actually, why don't we're going to stand up. I'm not going to stand because I'll lose my sight of the computer. So standing, we place our feet parallel to the shoulders with the tips positioned a little inward. So toes, I think they mean. The knees flex slightly so that you keep the kneecap aligned with your toes. We place the hip and the torso as straight as possible, making sure that the hips feel loose. The arms fall parallel along the body and the head is straight, following in line with where your body is. We loosen our features, so your face, relax your forehead, your jaw, open your mouth slightly as if it were putting on a slightly appalled expression. We need to relax the face, maybe making weird grimaces and then bringing it back to normal. Sort of like a contract, relax technique with stretching. We're looking for tension in the face muscles. Now continue with gentle neck rotations that will relieve the upper body area tension, seeking to relieve the habitual rigidity of expression and thinking. This will help us imagine a vertical axis, a thread that enters the crown of the head, follows the spine, and falls to weight by the center of the hips and pelvis, between the legs to the floor. So imagine this axis when we close our eyes and induce a few small swings or oscillations back and forth to one side and the other so that our body is reunited with its central axis and balanced more intuitively. We pay attention to our breathing as if we could discover it, simply observing, effortless, just to pay attention to it. Let's focus on the breath a moment. We introduce a small pause of 1 or 2 seconds before exhaling and inhaling. We remain in the rooting position for 1 or 2 minutes. Now you're going to start with circular breathing, which is without any interruption between the inhale and the exhale. See, it's just continuous, like so. And now focus your attention on the base of your spine. Focus the energy. This is where your first chakra is. That is your root. And bring your attention to the feet. They are placed firmly on the ground and your back is straight. Now imagine that from your feet begin to grow roots, which slowly rise and intertwine your legs. Now imagine becoming a tree. Excuse me. Feel the heat that gets louder and stronger, and your energy becomes more intense. The power of the earth rises and passes through it, flows into you. Feel it flow and control it with your breath. When you feel well rooted, bring your attention in your hands on your fourth chakra. I don't know which one that is. I think it's up here. Or maybe here. Maybe it's on your heart. Let's do your heart. With a deep breath, open your eyes. Don't forget to be grateful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all the things and all the ways. Keep smiling. At first, you feel strange and weird, but in reality, your heart has an expanding action that connects to divine joy faster. So don't be shy and go for it. Namaste. I gotta look up for you because I'm pretty sure I don't know the chakras super well. I'm just sort of diving into it, but yes, the fourth chakra is your heart. Sorry, guys. All right, that's all for today. Like I said, if you want to do this outside on the grass barefoot later, some other point that you need to just feel that reconnection, recharge from the earth, you could do it every day. You can just come back to this at a later point. And thank you guys for joining me. If you're wondering what this shiny spot is, I got these cool zip patches. If you need any recommendations for that, But things are clearing up here since I've been eating better with the challenge. So I hope you guys are feeling good if you're doing the challenge or just restarting your health and wellness journey, because you know there's a time frame that you are going to be seeing people again and in your tank tops. We're in this together, guys. Whether you've had an awesome few months, I don't even know how long this is going on, or you've been struggling, just remember you can always start again. It's a brand new day. Every morning you wake up, it's a new week, it's a new month. Like, let this be the time where you say, enough is enough. Let's do this. I'm ready. This is a new chapter. We can do this. All right. Thank you guys for joining me. We'll see you soon.